Hi everyone, I'm Geoffrey Hervey. This is Thomas, and
Hi.
This is Alayna.
Hi.
We're all here from SEAT, which is Sexual Empowerment and Awareness at Tennessee, and today we're going to talk to you about consent. What does consent mean to you?
Well, first things first, we have to recognize that sex without consent is not really sex. That's just sexual assault at that point. And also that we have to recognize that in regards to intimate acts, if you want to be doing those acts with someone who wants to be doing those things with you, because there's no really sense in having sexual contact with people that don't want to have sex with you, because it's not going to be quality intimacy. And we also have to recognize that consent really shows that you have respect for the person that you're with, and that you respect their personhood over the pleasurable aspects of their body. And I think that that's super important to recognize.
And it's just also, consent means that they care about you as a person. They care about how you're also feeling. Kind of like what she said, how it's more about the personhood than the actual pleasurable act itself. It's honestly just about the relationship that you two share and them caring about that more than them caring about just having sex with you and you just being another body there.
Another thing that I found fascinating is the concept of affirmative consent, which is a term that I certainly didn't know about before I came to college, and I'm sure a lot of people out here listening to us right now aren't super familiar with the term. So could you maybe delineate that for us?
Yeah, it's just pretty much yes means yes. You get a clear, excited yes every time you ask. You continually ask. It's not just assuming one and done. It is continually ensuring that you have the consent of the other partner in the sexual scenario that you are in.
Yeah, so not no means no, but yes means yes.
Yes.
And there's got to be multiple yeses. It's not just one yes. It's a continual process. So whenever you start kissing, that's when you say yes. When you take clothes off, that's a yes. And then when you go further, that's a yes. When you engage in sex, there's a yes that's required in that process.
Right.
And it's recognizing that anything other than a yes, unless spoken about beforehand, is a no.
One thing that we have to recognize is that when somebody is under the influence, and if they're at a point where they are too drunk to drive, or they're too under the influence to drive, then they're probably not in a position where they can coherently give consent.
I think that's another aspect that a lot of people overlook, is how there is a lot of pressure and there is a lot of manipulation that goes on into sort of influencing someone to giving them consent, which honestly isn't really consent if they're being guided and manipulated in that manner.
And you should never threaten to break up with someone if they don't have sex with you. You should never
spread a rumor
about them should they not have sex with you. You should never threaten to take take their phone, or to take some of their money, or you should never try to threaten someone or coerce someone into sex, because that's not being a good person, first of all, but it's also not respecting them as a person, because they as a person have inherent value, and I think that we should always recognize that and not manipulate people into doing something that they don't want to do. Because if that person doesn't want to do that, then you're not going to have quality sex anyway, because quality sex is whenever you two are both enthusiastic in the process. And I think that that's something that we also need to keep in mind, is that consent makes sex better. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to get consent in the first place. However, a lot of people do, obviously, but that's something that we need to keep in mind.